Hi guys! So, I am doing this library challenge again this year, and it is the 17th of January, and I'm only just starting my January book. But yeah, the prompt for... I literally just randomized a wheel 12 times to give me prompts, and for January it gave me the prompt of snowy setting or winter setting. And for that, I've decided to just go with one of the books that was on my 12 for 12, so a book I was reading anyway, and that is The Drift by CJ Tudor. Yeah, basically this group of, from what I took from the back, this group of people are stuck in a snowstorm, and there's a killer and there's a killer somewhere. Yeah, they're all trapped in this cabin during a snowstorm, and there's no help coming, and somewhere in it there lurks a killer. So it does sound intriguing, and it definitely fits the prompt of snowy setting. So I will give you one up. Okay, and I'm back because I have finished January's book for this library challenge. I think I'm giving this a 3-star. I actually found it really confusing. It kept bouncing between... I felt like I was in 3 different stories each time a chapter changed, and I just couldn't keep track of what was happening anymore. I finished it, but I'm giving it a 3. Because, I feel like... I didn't outrightly hate it, or it didn't offend me, so it's not getting a 2-star. But I can't give it any higher than a 3, because I was just generally confused for a lot of it, because... there was a lot going on all at once, and there were a lot of flashes between different characters and different stories. I had no idea what was happening in them, and I lost track about halfway through. So it's getting a 3, and we're going to move on to the next book. We're not going to move on to the next book right now, but I'll see you in February when I move on to the next book. Bye! Hi guys! So, it is time for my February book for this challenge, and the prompt for February was a book with a number in the title. So I found the 13th Fairy, A Never After Tale. I went with a middle grade because I'm having a pretty big, heavy fantasy month, and I didn't want to have something too hard to read. So I just picked this. It's short, and and I don't know if it's middle grade or young adult, but either way, it'll be quick to get through. And I will check back. I probably won't come in with thoughts in the middle. I'll probably just read it, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. But I have read Melissa de la Cruz before, because I read her Descendants books, which I enjoyed. And so I will probably enjoy this. I might not rank it high because I don't rank middle grade that high anymore. But here's the introduction, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye! Hello. So it's the next day, I think. I can't remember what I did the first part of this. But I have finished The 13th Fairy by Melissa de la Cruz. I think I'm going to give this a 3-star. Because, it was fine. It was cute. But I've read stuff like it before, and I also picked the twist in this about 3 chapters in. So, I just feel like it didn't do anything different than other books that I've read like it. Also, apologies if you can hear my fan. It is 31 degrees Celsius here, so it's very hot and I'm not turning it off. But apologies if you can hear it. Anyway, this is sitting at a 3-star. I am glad that I tried it, but it just didn't do anything different. I'll catch you in this video. I'll catch you in March. Bye! Hi! So, I'm just quickly popping in because I have started my March book for this library challenge. For that, the prompt that I got was a book published in the last 2 years. And I had too many options, so I put up a poll and had some friends of mine choose for me. And they chose The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I am now 73 pages in, so I can give my thoughts about this specific book. This is about Delphi. And she dies after choking on a hamburger. And as she's in like this, I think a good word for it is like limbo. She meets this guy who is also in limbo. And so she has been given a second chance. And after he's sent back, she is given a second chance by this, like, I don't know the right word for it, like, guardian angel. And so she gets sent back to the land of the living, and she has 10 days to find this man. Basically, if he kisses her of his own free will, she gets to stay. But if in the 10 days she doesn't find him, she has to go straight back down. Or up. I don't actually know which direction she was, but I'm quite enjoying it so far. There's like I have a feeling I know where this is going to go, because they're setting up like an enemies... they're setting up like what I think is going to be an enemies to lovers storyline. And if that's the case, I'm all for it. And yeah, I'm all for it if that's the case, but I still like the idea of it, and I'm still enjoying it. I will come back once I've read some more. Bye! So, it is the next day, and I finished Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I really enjoyed this one. I was right that it was an... I apologize for that. I was right that this is an enemies to lovers trope, but they did also point out some of the other tropes that this relationship ended on. But I'm giving this a 4.5 because the way that it ended, like the relationships built throughout this book and the way that it ended, it was really well done. So yeah, I'm giving this a 4.5. So I think this is the highest rated of the I mean, granted, I've only read 3 books so far for this library challenge. But this is definitely the highest rated of the 3. Alright, I will see you guys in April for the next one. Bye! Hello! So, I am here to do the April challenge the April prompt for my library challenge. For that, I ended up with a book that was published before 2017. For that, I picked up Pretty Little Liars by Sara Shepard. I'm reading this for another challenge, but it fits the prompt. So I'm going to cut to me talking about the plot that I already filmed, because I'm not going to say that again. I'll just add in that clip that I did from the other video. And I will return with my thoughts for this video. I'm going to be bouncing between giving thoughts for 2 different videos. So I don't know if I'll just do the same thoughts twice or I'll just edit it in. I will work that out. But for right now, let's just cut to past me talking about what this was about.
I don't really think I need to say what this is about, but basically, these 4 friends, Aria, Spencer, Hannah, and Emily, they... Whoops. They are essentially all friends with this... And then there's this 5th friend of theirs named Allison who goes missing. And then these 4... Yeah, and then the 4 girls kind of end up... They stop being friends, and they go their separate ways, but they're brought back together when Allison's body is found, and they all start getting texts from the mysterious A. So, I have finished Pretty Little Liars by Sara Shepard. I really enjoyed this one. I'm giving it 4 stars. I feel like if I read this a few years ago, when I was a YA audience, I probably would have given it 5. But yeah, I'm happy with it being a 4-star. So I've already told you what this is about. But yeah, this basically just builds on the separate relationships, but like the separate issues with these 4 girls after they stop being friends. I feel like the most interesting one is Spencer, because and probably Hannah. I was intrigued by their stories. I wasn't a fan of Aria's because it was really just the Ezra relationship, which I wasn't a fan of in the show, and I still wasn't a fan of it here. So yeah, so a lot of the stuff I was a fan of. Like, Spencer's stuff is mostly more family drama than boy drama, which I liked. And Hannah's story was interesting. We explored her bulimia, and it also explored, like, her she did get caught with the shoplifting that she had. Her boy drama kind of led to her and Mona stealing her boyfriend's car and driving drunk and crashing it. So then her mother, like, sleeps with the cop as a way to get Hannah out of drunk driving charges. But yeah, overall this was really good. I'm giving it 4 stars. And with that, this like episode of the library challenge is complete with the first 4 months. I will be back in May with the next one. Bye.